Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat directed on Prom FM 105.5. This program is also being streamed live on our Nighttime Heat Facebook page. It means that if you want to watch online, just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you're going to subscribe and you follow the show online. Besides, you can also follow the show online on your YouTube channel. Again, just tap a Nighttime Heat, and then you're going to come across the program and you join and you watch the show online as well. Well, tonight promises to be very, very interesting, very, very intriguing because I know my panelists are all here very spirited as usual. David Benedictus Nambus Rasmus Tagba is the first panelist here. I'm sure Moses will soon lock in. George Kennedy is on his way. He may likely come today. Edwin Famule as well. They all are on their way. But today, let me just acquaint you with the discussions tonight. I'm sure you're quite aware that Liberia, among other countries, has been placed on a new U.S. visa suspension list. Wow. Well, is that a good news or a bad news? I think that not a good news at all for our country, especially under a Joseph Barker and Cone-led administration. We're hoping that what can be done, it can be done, or the diplomatic negotiations can take place to relieve Liberia of that sanction. Well, we'll talk about that tonight because it should have also political and international implications, especially where Liberians are now traveling to the U.S., a country that will have that bilateral ties with. We'll talk about that tonight. And of course, the House of Representatives first sitting has been greeted with uproar. We heard bickering and bursts, in fact, by some members of the House of Representatives. So we're hoping to have Representatives member Britt Mensah answering Williams and Sumbo Molba. We're hoping that we can have them on the show tonight. And I know you heard also that NEMOT releases 2025 President's Meto report stating that the government of Liberia has only achieved 3 out of 378 projects. That's very good news or about one. What does that mean about the AARD? Well, look at that as well. Well, yesterday the police arraigned before courts Stand Molba Molo in connection with the violent protest that took place. But the Molba Molo, having been built out, held a press conference. We got that video, and of course, we're going to play that video for you. In the Brian Magero red case, the Gonglo and Associates are demanding full police report. Well, they said the material evidence on which the police has cleared Magero, including the DNA results, they want to see it as well. The Gonglo and Associates, they said they want to see it. I'm sure if that can be provided, they're going to further the case, and the case may not have an end anytime soon. Well, my panelists now will be looking at that. But in the meantime, let me try to play this the triumphant evangelical ministries has planned a 5-day or 6-day crusade. And of course, there I am. Wherever your heart is, there where you have to be. But in this period, especially this period where we, the devil continues to manipulate Christians, there's need to always, find yourself in such a gathering. And of course, to know more about that crusade that's coming up next Monday, let's hear the plug regarding that. Let's throw the plug quickly.
you to cry in the name of Jesus. God will disgrace them.
Death into the realms of the supernatural to become unstoppable.
I saw something like funny. Wait. I saw funny. I saw somebody like Inkele. I saw Insame.
Ministering Minister Jason Pratt, Ambassador Miracle Keto, Minister Kenneth Greatness Barnett, host Evangelist Dr. J. Ben Greatness.
I want you to bring your friends, bring your family, bring your loved ones. Are you in Sierra Leone? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Ghana? Togo? Are you in Chicken Supatre? Are you in Ghana, Somalia, Singapore, whatever place you find yourself? I want you to be in this meeting because God is going to be demonstrating his extraordinary power.
19th through 23rd January 2025 by 5 p.m. daily. The venues are Stephen Tolbert Estate Field, Japanese Freeway, Gardensville, Monrovia. For inquiries, please call the following numbers.
Tell them that God's servant, Evangelist Dr. J. Ben Greatness, is in town and God has empowered him.
Okay, so the voice of Dr. J.Ben Greatness, he's the head of the Evangelical Transfer Evangelical Ministries, where they are holding a 6-day revival around the Stephen Tolbert Estate Field. And of course, I'm going to be there in flesh and blood because, that's the appropriate time now, especially with the year beginning, and the devil is on its feet, trying to manipulate the children of God. It's better that you to find yourself there and get some revival, revive your soul, as the new year just sets in. But let me welcome David Benedictus Rasmus Nabutawe. David, why are you looking at me there? What's happening?
No, I'm impressed with I think my microphone is.
Yes, I just put the microphone on.
I'm impressed with your introductory remarks, and I know. so you have already put me in the mood. Okay, now, but Sabbath, don't be surprised that one day the devil will file a lawsuit against you and others who have always accused you of being the one manipulating.
No, but God doesn't manipulate in a negative way. So, it is the devil.
Anytime we blunder on our own, we say it's the devil. Don't be surprised when the devil sues.
The devil has no lawsuit to bring against us.
Yeah, thank you, Sabal.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, it's good that I'm here all the time, every day, and on time. Not necessarily because I'm 100% punctual, but because I live in Central Town.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Just a few yards away from the station.
Yeah.
So, and not because Kennedy or the political twins don't come
from the same political institution. No, but I'm hoping that it can come on and come in quickly. So that we can still get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting. Moses hasn't locked in yet. I'm sure Moses is trying to prepare to lock in. But tonight, like I said, tonight promises to be very, very interesting. Liberia has been placed. Liberia is among other countries placed on U.S. Visa suspension list. It's not. I'm sure that will have its political and international implication. It's not good for our country. That sort of record is not good for our country. But we'll be talking about that, and also the House of Representatives. Their first sitting. That was yesterday, right? It was greeted with uproar. We heard some tantrum and some outbursts from some of the lawmakers. They said what the speaker, the leadership was trying to manipulate them, trying to suppress their views. What we're hoping to have for representatives, Member Briggs Mensah, Anthony Williams, and Smo Molba. They'll be joining us in a moment from now. And NABO has released its 2025 President Media Report. It calls it named a STARDA report. It says out of 378 projects, the 3 so far government has done. Yesterday, police arraigned before courts. Molba Molu stand. He was before court, and of course, from there he held an interview. Hoping that we can play that tip also. Well, in the Brian McGill rape case, the Gonglo and Associates. They are demanding for police report. They are requesting that the police make available or avail or present, let me use one of the words, all the material evidence, including the DNA results and the DNA tests, that clear McGill. Because it's, like Gonglo said, and of course we want to discuss that in trial of that nature, in case of that nature, the victims of families and the lawyers should be able to receive from the courts. But let's play this tape by the U.S. president. And he said something before the whole news broke up about Liberia being placed on this sanction. Let's hear from the U.S. president, Donald Trump. Okay, but my producer is trying to upload it. We're hoping that we can hear that quickly from the U.S. President Donald Trump, and then we're going to the report today. We're still expecting Anthony Williams, Representative Anthony Williams, Smoke Malba, and Member Briggs to join us in a moment from now to hear from them what was happening at the first sitting of the House of Representatives. Very shortly, we're hoping that we can hear from them as soon as possible. We're trying to upload, but welcome, Edwin. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and sorry for being.
Let me try to put the microphone. Okay. Yes, Edwin.
Thank you, Slobo, and good evening to all of you guys and to our folks in Radio Land. Sorry for being a little bit late. There is this anxiety about the county meet going on, and my county is in the semi-final.
Okay.
Keep my county.
Okay.
So we're also trying to follow the euphoria. So, but anyway, I'm glad to be here again tonight.
Okay, welcome. I will still expect Moses. I'm sure Moses will shortly log in. George Kennedy may likely join us because he said he got some issues that you're trying to work. But before we, trying to upload this video, before then, Taba, what's on your mind? What's been trending since day?
Well, what's on my mind? Look, Saba, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the Ministry of Public Works to be repairing roads across the country, mainly in the capital Monrovia, to make them pliable for vehicles. But at the same time, it's not making the sidewalks walkable by pedestrians. What do I mean by that? The Public Works Ministry repairs the roads and abandon and even doesn't repair the sidewalks. Many of them have cracks. Many of the sidewalks have cracks. So my expectation was, if you are repairing the roads, if you are repairing the roads or the streets, you must also repair the sidewalks.
Sure.
You can have paved or repaired roads, then you have broken sidewalks.
Okay.
Not the Ministry of Public Works. In fact, let me also bring in the Monrovia City Corporation. The Monrovia City Corporation is another failure. The fact that the Monrovia City Corporation is not enforcing the city ordinances. A regulatory mechanism is absolutely weak because people occupy the sidewalks and they sell. The people sit on the sidewalk to sell, and people also occupy the sidewalk, and pedestrians find it difficult to make their way.
Okay, all right, David, let's go.
You can find your way in the street. You can find your way on the sidewalk.
Okay,
that's
yes, Edwin, what's trending on your mind?
Mine is almost close to that. I witnessed today almost a disaster, and I think the Liberia National Police have to put on their inspectorate for vehicles that apply the major streets of Monrovia. I was somewhere on the Benson Street, and one of these long buses, those yellow buses, or so, lose control.
I think they call it
the Killer Bean buses.
Bus.
One of those buses lost control up the Benson Street hill. The guy was coming down with force. Luckily for him, and as God could have it, he was able to swing the wheel to go towards the graveyard side, so there was no disaster.
Wow!
But it was a chaotic scene today, and in my mind, I was like, "What if there's a jam of traffic in that area with kekes and people are in it?
It would have caused a major disaster.
Could have caused a major disaster." So I think the police needs to step up their game to make sure that these buses are pliable before they put them on the road, because
Okay.
that could have resulted to a loss of a lot of life today.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's try to play this video quickly. The U.S. President Donald Trump said something today. We have the video, and after a few hours, we heard that Liberia was part of, So let's listen to him. Let's listen.
Revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or anywhere else who is convicted of defrauding our citizens. We're going to get them the hell out of here fast. And if you come to America to rob Americans, we're throwing you in jail and we're sending you back to the place from where you came.
Okay, when I listened to this video, I laughed. But let's hear from you. Ben. Let's hear from you, Edwin.
The issue of President Trump, I think he's overreaching the executive power.
He's overreaching.
He's of course.
Why would you say that?
And a lot of congressional folks are now saying that in his face. There's a reason why there's this, 3 branches of government created by the Constitution. Now, citizenship within the United States is a constitutional matter. All right. Now, he started first with this issue of automatically canceling this whole citizenship by birth, that when you're born in the United States, you become citizens automatically. He said he was going to cancel that. That has gone as far as to the Supreme Court, at the U.S. Federal Supreme Court. So they are now waiting for interpretation. Now, the president, yes, you have latitudes of authority within the executive branch, but that does not put you, that does not make you a demigod that you can just wake up and do anything. Those processes can be challenged, because these people passed through a legally laid down process that led them to gaining citizenship of the United States. And one thing that we need to sit and look at, America is made of diversity of people from all over the world. Even the Donald Trump who's speaking, his parents came from Scotland. America belongs to the rare Indians. But today you have people from all.
So what is the point that you are making, Edwin?
The issue is that, look, Donald Trump is president for America. Whatever he wants to do, he can do it for the next 3 years. After that, there will be another government, another president in power that would definitely roll back on these things, because they know the greatness of America is the diversity of America. Not because, one may think that he's the only one who's supposed to be.
So he seems overreaching, like you said. Okay.
He's overreaching his.
Let's see it from you.
Well, I listened to the brief video you played, but I didn't hear him saying the reason why.
No, there's a reason.
What's the reason? I didn't hear from him the reason. That somebody just played briefly.
Yeah.
But there could be a lot of reasons for that. America is a country that has a system, well-in-place system. And if you violate that system, you suffer the consequences. But whether it's genuine or not, I don't know. As you said, Edwin, Donald Trump is not the only person. Being a president doesn't mean that you can dictate everything.
Everything that you want to do.
You do anything you want to do. I think America has a parliament that will give approval to some of these utterances that Donald Trump is making. Another thing is that regarding Liberia being one of the countries sanctioned, I don't know, visa, right? Look, one of the factors I've always attributed that to is, like, as Liberians or even Africans as a whole, our dishonesty and lies, because we want to go to the United States. If you seek a visa to go to the United States and you apply for 2 or 3, 4 months to remain in the United States, after the 3, 4 months, return to your country. But many of us Africans, particularly Liberians, we seek visas. Visas Oh, somebody
We
shouting.
know.
Oh, wow. What's it?
Who's
What's
that?
it?
You gotta mute the person, please.
Yeah. So when you ask for 3 months, you go, you stay there 10 months, or you overstay, or you don't even come back again. That's a problem. That's a violation of American laws or America's laws. So if you lie, and you overstay, or you don't even return, you're narrowing the chances of others who want to go to the United States. So the country is not as loose as our country where people do things and go with impunity.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so America stands by a law. So if you violate the law, so you want to live, we know that Trump sometimes, do overdo things, but he doesn't have the final say.
Okay, let's leave it at that. I know Donald Trump is the American president. I don't think he's going to say something that's override by now or that's overridden by the Congress. But let's see. Welcome Representative Anthony Williams quickly to the program. Welcome to the program. Kindly on mute. Representative Williams, welcome to the program. Well, it seems that he's finding it difficult. Representative Williams, can you welcome to the program?
I think so.
Okay. So, gentlemen, let's go into our first discussion quickly. The House of Okay, let me welcome Moses to read this document. Moses, we hear some terrible sounds in the back. Kindly adjust yourself well, Moses. Welcome to the program, Moses.
Thank you, Savo. Thanks, Tagbet. It's a pleasure. It's not George sitting over there.
Yeah,
George?
That's
George is not here.
Is that Edwin? Edwin, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Any echo in the background? I think someone has to mute when you're in.
Probably need to load out one more.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping Moses, don't you see it from the end because we just came in and we are getting the terrible feedback there.
Okay.
It's from you. It should be from you. So either you can go back, you can go off and come back on. Okay, I think it's okay now. So, gentlemen, it's the red on now. The red is off. Okay, gentlemen, let's try to read this latest information from the U.S. State Department. Initially, the House of Representatives sitting that was greeted with uproar and the bickering.
When you say you're not getting me,
Please, kindly unmute. That should have been our first discussion. The House of Representatives sitting that turned, that was greeted with some noise. It should have been our first discussion. But just this evening, we heard about Liberia, amongst other countries being sanctioned by the U.S. State Department. Let's try to read this and look at what could be the political and international implications. What could this be? What could this mean for our country? Especially when we started celebrating that, Liberia's U.S. relationship has taken a new dimension. It was on course. Our president was invited amongst few African leaders for the U.S. Africa Summit, right? That was the summit he went to. And our president spoke very well. And fortunately for us, Donald Trump, noticed that and recognized our president. And that went global all over the world. People heard that our president could speak very well, having been acknowledged by Donald Trump. And so the relationship has been on course. But with what had happened, what could be some of the fallout as a result of this. So let me read it first, gentlemen, and then we all can talk about when the lawmakers join us, they will also join us in this discussion. U.S. State Department freezes immigrant visas processing for 75 countries. Washington, D.C., January 14, 2026. In a significant policy shift, the U.S. State Department has announced a temporary pause in immigrant visa processing for 75 countries as part of an effort to address concerns regarding applicants who may be classified as likely to become a public charge. The full list of countries comprises, the list is so long, Afghanistan and the rest of them, including Liberia. The pause in processing will commence on January 21, 2026 and to remain in effect indefinitely while the State Department concludes or conducts a thorough reassessment of its visa application procedures. Officials suggested that this move aims to enhance the integrity of the immigration system and ensure that incoming immigrants can support themselves financially. Wow. As discussions around this policy evolve, the implications for potential immigrants and their families are profound, stirring debates or immigration reform and the criteria for vetting applications. Stakeholders from affected countries are urged to stay informed on developments that could significantly impact their immigration prospects. For the latest update, okay, so gentlemen, that's it. This just came few hours ago, but we played a tape that almost have some link, to that. Let me begin with you. You from learning law, and I'm sure sometimes this sort of discussions can pop up in class, and your lecturers can also enlighten you on these scenes and how it happens and the implications as well. Let's hear from you. Your take.
Well, the constitution of every country, basically, for democratic countries, gave the authority to the executive branch of government to perfect the foreign affairs of the state, and visas related issues are all executive functions. So, if the Department of State, through the instruction of the president, deem it necessary that there are countries out there that they want to, verify people who are going into the United States to make sure that they don't become burden on the state or they don't have the tendency of staying there rather than coming back home, that's their right. And for me, what I've always said, getting a visa is a privilege, not a right. So you going to another person's country, not a citizen, for whatever reason, is a privilege for them granting you the authority to go to that country. But what this speaks to us as Liberians and as Africans is that we need to start developing the condition that our people don't want to migrate, they want to stay and contribute. I've seen that happening in Ghana, I've seen that happening in the United States, where in Nigeria too as well, where when these people come back home, sometimes they don't even want to return to those places because the conditions there are not favorable. Let's be realistic. I see a lot of people running to the United States like it's a greener pastures. You have to go there and work 7, 8, 10 hours. Freezing weather, you're not used to that. Loneliness, you're in a house almost all day. You have to wait for the family people, maybe those who are doing 2, 3 jobs to come before they can take you around. You don't want to live that life. But all we need to do is to find a way as a government and as a country to improve our system. So our people want to look. Slobo, I've been to the US many times, but I have never one day had the thought of you want to be there for even 6 months. Because for me, it's boring. Right? So again, They said they're going to pause it. They want to, verify. They've done similar thing like that with other countries. In fact, last week I was reading they even putting up an insurance bond for people that are traveling from Nigeria and other countries. You have to put a $15,000 insurance bond before you can even get a visa. All right. So for us, they say, look, we're going to pause this process, review it, and then we, give a way forward. That's all right.
Okay, that's your take. That's all right. We'll come back, to ask further questions. Then let's hear from you, Dave. Your initial comment.
Citizens from different countries, including Liberia, we've always made America to appear as if it's indispensable to our survival. That if you don't go to the United States or you're not resident in the United States, then you are not a human being. Everybody, America is the only country that almost everybody around the world want to go. Why? Because they develop a system that is accommodating. They develop a system that is comfortable. They develop a system where people don't commit crimes and go with impunity. And they create a system where opportunities are in abundance. And so this is why, even not necessarily the United States alone, other countries, European countries in the Americas, people even, taking dangerous journeys because they want to go to Europe or the United States. So I agree with Edwin. Why can't our African leaders or other countries from which people come from enrich their life because they want to go to the United States? Why can't our African leaders create that same atmosphere? Why aren't white people struggling or taking risks on the sea and other places to come to Africa to live here? Why are only Africans or Black people alone? So our African leaders need to also create that same atmosphere. Let white people come here or Americans come here to seek jobs, to seek opportunities. Not all the time we're going to them. So Donald Trump, you can blame him. And besides that, another contributing factor is that, look, it's a coincidence. Donald Trump's come up with the decision at the time we're talking about the speaker,
we will talk about that. Let me know we'll talk about that. But again, listeners and viewers, you can share the show, kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also be part of the discussion. Again, you want to watch the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page, and of course you're going to watch the show, or your YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat and then you're going to watch the show. Most of us get the initial comment on this.
He's not on. I think Anthony is on.
I've been backstage. Okay.
Moses, okay. Yeah, Moses, I think he put Moses on the back.
Yes,
Moses, let's get an initial comment.
Yeah, thank you. There's echo from your end, Ned. But this is a very interesting discussion. And I'm listening to my brother David Tagbert. David made a silly argument. I know when Edwin was speaking, I went out, so I didn't listen to Edwin. David, I do agree that African leaders need to make the content attractive. But unfortunately, that is not happening. At a time, the continent will become attractive, where we will choose to stay there. You and I may not be around. And, I'm simply saying the opportunities, let's use Liberia as a graphic example. One of the foremost challenges you have in Liberia is unemployment. So many college graduates in Liberia.
So true.
Absolutely nothing to do. People with masters, PhDs, earning as low as $200. That's less than a daily salary of someone who has a high school certificate in the United States. So you see why people are gravitating, why people are leaving the continent. Opportunities. Yet there's what they call safety net for the poor. You don't see a lot of people going to offices to beg because what? There's safety net for the poor. In Liberia and other parts of Africa, you don't do that. You don't have that. Your hospitals has no accommodation for the poor. So people leave Liberia, they leave the continent and go to the West because these people have systems in place to help the poor. Now let's come back to the current situation. This is sad. And as I listened to David Tagbert, or to Silver George as he was reading, one of the fundamental reasons why the US government has decided to impose the trial restriction or to add Liberia's name to the list is to control this problem of Africans coming to the United States and becoming what they call public charge. In the West, when we talk about public charge, we're talking about people who are dependent on the system. People who have limited incomes. The most recent report from the State Department shows that 47% of Liberians in the United States are what? Dependent on the public system. These are people who live in low-cost housing. They receive subsidy from the government to sustain themselves. So to minimize that, they say, hey, we need to put a break here. These people are trooping. They are coming in the numbers. You see that? That's all part of the strategy. And honestly speaking, as an immigrant, as a naturalized U.S. citizen, to a greater extent, I see this. So, for example, let me use Liberia as an example. We have most of our public officials in Liberia who send their wives, their spouses to the United States to get bribes. We have to pay for the care, the medical bills, because we as the taxpayers will work. We earn enough money to take care of their families while they are in Liberia procreating. That's a burden for the people of the United States. You have people who come here and overstay their visas. Again, you may say, why people are overstaying the visa? Because you have no resources, you have no opportunity to buy them. So people overstay the visas and find opportunity to integrate into the greater American system. Now, the most recent one, why this action was taken, I know America will be celebrating the good relationship between Liberia and the United States. Let this one stand out for you. Let's do a sober reflection here. The third most powerful person in the country, the speaker, went publicly and admitted that he connived with his sister to dupe the U.S. immigration system.
Also mentioned that.
That's fraud.
We'll talk about it, I was saying.
That's fraud. The people may think that the people are not listening, they're not following. The people are following.
Okay, let's go with the Moses. Let's go with the Moses. We'll do another round of questions. Let's go with that. And welcome Representative Anthony Williams from Maryland. Rep, welcome to the program. He's off?
No, he's mute.
Carry on mute, and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Am I on?
Yes, you are on. Well, thank you for joining the nighttime heat. We're still expecting two of your colleagues. Basically, we should have started with the first sitting of the House of Representatives that was greeted with uproar almost. There was some outbursts and all of that from you and others. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about the latest, concerning the restriction by the U.S. government restricting Liberia and 75 other countries not giving us visa. Let's hear from you. What's your reading in that?
Well, thank you. For me, and I always told people, every country you find on a continent or every country you find around, their citizens or their leaders will always want to protect the country jealously in making sure that their citizens are protected in terms of jobs or in terms of some other facilities. So the information emanated from the U.S. State Department, for me, I have no problem with it. I am a Liberian. If the Americans feel very strong through that leader, Honorable Donald Trump, President Trump, and feels very strong that the Liberians should not go there, for me, I don't see that as a problem, because we, as a sovereign state, we are here. What it does is that it's a wake-up call for us to be able to do some things that will make our country attractive, so that our brothers and sisters who are migrating, or because of their job security, job opportunity, go to the United States of America, feels that if you go there and you can get some job. All we need to do is to just do more extensive work in our country, open some of these sectors, the private sectors, so that our brothers and sisters who are running to the United States of America, so that they can also find confidence in their government, find confidence in their country to be able to work. Because there is no way you can, whether you took a code A, you make it fine. The people have said they don't need you there. Obviously, you got to find a way to address it. It's like somebody having a yard, they got red plums in the yard, they got coconut tree in the yard, they got everything in the yard. And then you always go in there because you feel that your yard have no opportunity. You go there, you can get the opportunity to drink coconut water, to eat plums, whatsoever it is. And then one day, one morning, he or she just gotta say, "Oh no, don't come in my yard again. When you come here, the coconut tree, the plum tree, you can put a dike in the yard, do sort of things. So all the people don't come here again." So you got no option. All you need to do is to make your place okay. So for us to have no option, the Americans have made their decision, and then we just work on our own here to make the place very viable for our people, so that we can be going out. For some of us who have not really expressed interest in America, going there, to go to work, even though other people say, and it's a place of truth, that if you leave from here, you are a high school student, same job is scarce here. When you go to America, high school student can find work. When you're working, you are protected, you got job security. All of the opportunities that are there is why you see a lot of people going after, not only Liberia alone. So, but if we can work, we can be the America, but at least to provide some of the opportunities. At least we not find out people running there, so we want to be going for visit and come back. But because of the opportunities that are lacking, and the government in, government out, there's no way for this thing to be addressed. So at the end of the day, Liberia want to go to America. So even as America issue a little statement that nobody will go to America, nobody should come to our place. Everybody worried about it. People start to discuss it on the radio, like if to say, if you don't go to America, you're going to die. But no. I want to say thanks to Donald Trump for what he did. Okay. We've been here and to fix the place.
Okay,
I have to say, we need to work on ourselves.
All right, we'll come back to you. It is, gentlemen, it is easily said than done. From time immemorial, Liberians are always, have that appetite for America. Mm-hmm. The fact is, America is a land of opportunities.
Of course, you can take
whether you cripple, whether you blind, you have an opportunity in America. Now, but this news came at the time when we all felt that our relationship with the U.S. has improved, especially when our president went to that summit and he spoke there.
Got a 3-year extension.
Got a 3 years extension, all of that.
Yeah.
Now, where do you think this is coming from? I can remember, yes, I couldn't mention the issue of, regarding the speaker. We joined other nations at the UN General Assembly to criticize, to rebuke the US, for entering Venezuela. So, General, where do you think this is coming from? Moses, I don't want to start with you. You are out there, but let me begin with you, Edwin. Where do you think this is coming from?
Well, for me, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't think it's a policy that's affecting Liberia because of whatever the circumstances might be. Mm-hmm. I think holistically, the United States government is doing a policy overview You know, I think Moses struck a very good point. You know, he gave the statistics of Liberians that are in the United States are actually depending on the American government for survivorship. So these are some of the things also. Now, I think like the press release said, they're doing an overview of the process of the 75 countries. And then at the end of the day, there will be a determination as to the way forward. It is not to say that it's a permanent halt that nobody going to go to America for the next 3 years on President Trump administration. They're doing a review process of their foreign service. That they have the right to do so. And they say, I think it starts from the 21st of this month. We don't know to how far they say for time.
They didn't put an end date.
Yes, they didn't put an end date. But I think after the review process, and then they will come out to say, okay, based on our review process, these countries can continue, and these other ones will be on permanent ban that they have done with, I think, Sierra Leone and other countries also. I don't think it is as a result of any of these diplomatic statements or what's happening with the speaker or what also. I don't want to go there, because if you do that, then it's actually like a foreign service, reactions to what happening in the diplomatic side.
Now, let me tell you that Moses, there was a previous list, and Tablet, I will come to you on that before Moses. There was a previous list that came out. Unfortunately, that list didn't include Liberia.
Yes.
Now, you said that they're trying to do a policy shift or a policy review. Do you think with the level at which we're running with this relationship with America, you think a policy review or a policy shift should be affecting Liberia? Let's begin with
well, it's just one action that doesn't, diminish Liberia relationship with the United States. Nothing, as Famula said, perhaps they're doing the scrutiny of the system, and considering the fact that there are a lot of reports of fraudulent action on the part of people leaving their country and going to the United States. Yeah, we're talking about the speaker and his sister or wife. We're talking about them. And there's a likelihood that, as somebody mentioned, that people are monitoring everything that's going on in this country and other countries, to be very frank with you. And another aspect is about there are a lot of fraudulent acts. The former ambassador of the United States mentioned that, most of all Liberians are dishonest. So go to the United States, we overstay, we don't want to come back. And we lied only to get the visa. And when we say we went for 1 month, we stay there for 1 year or don't come back. And another aspect could be that, look, most of your lawmakers, like particularly the Speaker of the House of Representatives, now he's on the question. The U.S. government is following these reports about an alleged fraudulent act, but you can rule out the fact that the recent statement coming from our ambassador, though it was not an individual statement, it was a collective statement by Liberia and other countries regarding the recent ejection from power by the United States of the Venezuelan president. You remember Louis Brown read a statement on behalf of other countries in Liberia. And that statement is very strong in terms of condemning the Trump's action or the American action. So that could be another factor that you can overrule or you can overlook. It can be a contributing factor. And I mean, adding on the issue of dishonesty, insincerity, and fraudulent action on our part as people come from different countries because we want to go to the United States. Yes, the Speaker of the House, a very prominent person. In fact, sometimes I wonder why he's still doing as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Should he still be sitting there? He doesn't have the integrity to still be sitting there as Speaker of the House of Representatives because he has terribly disgraced the country and disgraced the national legislature.
Okay.
So I mean, sometimes you don't blame the American people because we blame ourselves. They blame ourselves. So if you have a speaker sitting there who is caught in matrimonial quagmire, you don't expect the United States now to take action. That could be a contributing factor.
Okay, that could be a contributing factor. You said. Okay, let me go to the legislature, because I have a member of the of that body on this program. We're still expecting 2 other members. Smo is trying to lock in. Representative Williams, you heard the panel is trying to.
So what you bringing me?
Yes, but you are not coming in now. I'm making reference to Representative Williams. Yes, the panelists are making reference to what's happening between the speaker and Cecilia Kong, and one of them there was an admittance that yes, indeed, they both are related. But it has to do with a fraudulent practice and of the American immigration system. What do you think, you from that August body, do you think that could be part of the reason for including Liberia on the list? Because initially there was a list that came out. Liberia was not there. Just in the twinkle of an eye, Liberia has been included.
And don't call it a coincidence, sir. Don't call it a coincidence.
Let us hear from you. Representative Williams, you muted. We are not getting you. Representative,
Me, I'm muted.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, boys. You're breaking through. I'm not, when she poses the questions, you are breaking through. So I'm just trying to get what you're trying to say. But I think you are trying to, I think you are asking what am I thinking as it relates to Liberia being added on the list, and it was not. Liberia was not added before within the twinkle of an eye. Liberia has been added. So apparently you're thinking that because of the UN Security Council, the thing that was read by Louis Brown, and as well as what is happening between the speaker and his spouses or his wife. I think that what you're trying to know is why you want to speak to.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to just second guess to just say, oh, it is because of the position of Louis Brown or Liberia at the UN Security Council in terms of what happened to the president of Venezuela, or what is happening with the speaker, and his family, or whatsoever you may term it, is what necessitated for the addition of Liberia on the list. Because the current president of the United States of America, I've been one person who have just gave up on him in terms of I noticing what he wants to do. I just leave it now. Whatsoever that comes out of it, that's it, because he's unpredictable. You don't know. I know from whence he comes. Today he said this one. Today he do another thing. So with such a person that it is not predictable, in fact, to the extent he and some of his official people from the parliament, they always go back and forth on some of his decisions and things. So such a person, when they made a kind of a decision, I don't like to just conclude that look, it is because of the speaker attitude, or it is because of the statement that was made at the UN General Assembly. As a matter of fact, the US government, they are aware that the reasons countries gather at that UN General Assembly is to speak on issues that affect countries around. So they know that even though they got interest and know that are crossing, but I'm strongly I want to say that they are aware that when these things come out, the way the president of Venezuela was being picked up, obviously they know that the UN will make a strong statement about that. So if Liberia was given an opportunity to read a statement on behalf of the Security Council, that should not warrant Liberia being added on their list of say they will not get you passport or the reviewing, whatever the case. You see, if you look at the literature there, And there are so many countries that are on our list. And technically, they said they are reviewing. Apparently, the Liberia could be maybe put out of the list after the review process, or Liberia could be on the list, and after the review process. And that at that point now, they will give a genuine reason why Liberia is still on the list. But at this process, we are in the pool. So they are doing that analysis. So for me, I don't want to lay it on the lap of the speaker or lay it on the lap of the folks at the UN family. And at the UN Security Council, at the UN Security Council say it is because of your presentation or because of the speaker. We all know what happened with the speaker and his family is something that we can talk about. But to square it, use it as a justification for what was done by the President of the United States of America, that will be fair to them. Will be fair to them. But all I can say that the President of the United States of America is unpredictable. All of his decisions, you see how it's happening, how it goes. So you can't hold anybody responsible. Tomorrow you could come back and say, "Oh, Liberia move off the list." Then you say, "Oh, what is happening?" So saying he is unpredictable. I don't like to take his statement to crucify somebody or to hold somebody for his actions or his activities. Because he's unpredictable. You don't know.
Okay, let us hold it there. We'll come back to you. Now, before we can go to Moses, Representative Small-Mulder, welcome to the program. We've begun the discussion with the latest news regarding Liberia, being placed on a list amongst 75 countries. So that's the discussion we are holding. Later on, we'll go into the capital. Let me talk to you, Moses. Moses, given the history and the relationship between Liberia and America, one would think, or one would have thought that maybe Liberia could have been a bit moderate in terms of reacting to, or in terms of reading or reacting to what happened in Venezuela. Although Liberia spoke as a nation, yes, but maybe given the relationship, one would have thought that Liberia would have just been a bit moderate than to use some hard-hitting words like the condemnation of America's action out of that. Moses, let's get your thought. Don't you think? And in addition to what's happening regarding the third man in the country, also being linked to this whole visa immigration fraud, do you think what's happening now is coming from there?
So what that statement was not only for Liberia.
I'm coming. I'm not asking. I'm asking Moses. Moses, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to begin with a direct quote from Representative Anthony.
Mhm.
He referred to the President of the United States as unpredictable. I definitely concur with him on that.
Mhm.
President Trump is unpredictable. And for many of us who live in the West, let me tell you, that's how the Western society is. I think I told you how these people are. They will smile with you. You step out of the office, they make it a punitive action against you. And you won't believe it. Say, this guy, I just had coffee. That's how unpredictable the society is. When President Trump made a phone call to Liberia, the Liberian government made big news. They were all in the media. Oh, Donald Trump called Joseph Boakai, and you saw the publicity, which I felt it was unnecessary because world leaders should be talking to world leaders. That's no news. But they made big publicity out of it. When they extended your visa time to 3 years, Liberia also ran with that. Oh, our relationship with the United States is being enhanced. All of these, yes, you are making progress. But the current situation we're dealing with, we need to look at this current situation in a broader context. The statement the United States government made is that the visa process is being reassessed. So as part of the reassessment, several things will be considered. the people from Liberia. Let's focus on Liberia. What is Liberia's contribution to the United States? Liberians in the United States, what are the problems we are having with these people? 47% of people in the United States identify as Liberians, according to the State Department, are reliant, are dependent on the state, on the federal government. They are what? Considered public charge. We take care of them. Americans will say, what? This is a significant hit for our economy. And you know, when Mr. Trump went to be president, he declared, not only to America, he declared to the world that he was coming back to put a lid over the migration of immigrants to this country. So they consider that you have so much of the people in this country who are considered public charge. They consider the statement that emanated from the African nations that you also made, whether we like it or not. Look, when someone is helping you, when you speak, the person is going to do a sober reflection. That statement was also considered. The situation with your speaker is also a key factor in this process. The Americans say, hey, fake marriages in our country is considered what? A felony. It is illegal. The third most powerful person in the Republic of Liberia admitted through his public relations officer that the woman who is running around, he and the lady are what? Siblings. But he did not dispute the fact that he came to the United States and they entered into a wedlock. So the Americans said, this is absolutely wrong. This undermines our immigration system. That could have been one of the factors. And several other reasons. African immigrants come to Liberians. A good number of them are criminals. I'm being honest with you. I'm not trying to put people down. Don't forget, I'm in the business of social services. A good number of Liberians in this country are drug addicts. They are drug addicts. They engage into criminal activities. All of these things are considered, and the records are there. The people are looking at the records. So with all of this decision to put or to add abroad to the list, I think it was well considered. Well, let me start there.
Okay, so now let's hear from Representative Smo Mulba. He's also from the House of Representatives. Rep would have started with the first thing. He's off. Okay, hoping that he can come back on. But gentlemen, and let me begin with you, Edwin. I want us to open the lines briefly after this round of question, before we go to the second discussion. Given the fact that, because we read through the statement, we didn't see any end date. Is it worrying? Is it something? Is it something that worrisome? Should we begin to put our hands on our head? But what is it? What sort of quagmire have we found ourselves?
I don't want for us to worry. I think the foreign affairs, the foreign ministries, and others will get on top of this. And I think we're jumping the guns too fast because I listened to David Tabor when he said there are other countries that are also involved. Those countries were not on the Security Council to make any statement or so, and then while you're there,
but you can't compare those countries with Liberia. No, I'm coming. You can compare those countries, the relationship those countries have with America. You can compare with Liberia. No, we have a traditional relationship.
Let me.
So, I'm coming. Like Moses spoke that if somebody is helping you, and you are making a statement against them, you gotta be watchful and careful.
So do you know how much?
At the end of the day, there could be a backlash.
So do you know how much the United States government gave to Egypt every year for military support? $2 billion. How much do they give to Liberia every year? You know, so we've built this fantasy that we are this close traditional partners to America because we have the relationship, the free slave came here. So it's all an illusion. Whether we like it or not.
What makes it an illusion? Is it not fact?
No.
Is it not real? It didn't happen?
I'm coming, Chief.
I'm coming. It didn't happen.
The fact that people came from the United States.
I'm coming. If we are not yielding, we are not getting the perks out of that or the benefits out of that, then we can say it's when you know that it's history has recorded that it's true. Then you want to say it's a fantasy.
Let me say this. I listened to Moses when he said, Liberians want to go to America, Liberians want to do the same thing with the British and the Sierra Leoneans. And now the Sierra Leoneans have started to realize that we build this mentality over time. That this is our colonial father. It is supposed to do as right. I just said the United States government gave Egypt $2 billion every year in terms of military support. What do they give Liberia in terms of military support? What we got the other, in fact, what we're now making noise about is this Millennium Compact that will come in 5 years for $500 million. And then at the end of it, 80% of that money will go back to the United States. So we've built this fantasy over time that we have this close relationship. So whatever policies that America make that affect other people, it doesn't affect us. No, they don't care about that. As far as they believe history says that there were free African slaves that came from the United States and settled in Liberia, and after that, that was it. Even during the heat of our civil conflict.
So the question is, should we not be concerned about the?
I don't think we should be worried or
the fact that there is no end date.
I don't think we should be worried or concerned because, like you said, they're doing a policy review, and like I said,
but it should have an end date.
No, but
you can do
definitely will come back to you.
You can do reassessment endlessly.
In diplomatic relationship, you don't put everything out there. There are things that have been discussed behind closed door. All right, so definitely. The
I disagree with you. Chief. There has been a statement from the American government, from the U.S. State Department, that have had end dates. I mean,
but I'm going to say to you this, right? They said that we are doing a foreign policy review on this process. All right, and at a given point in time, they will come back to you.
Okay, let me hold you.
And these are the
Dave, shouldn't we? Because we will shortly transition. Dave, shouldn't we be concerned about the fact that there was no end date at all to that reassessment of the whole visas?
Well, it should be a matter of concern, but it's not something we should worry about. The fact of the matter is that, look, with or without the United States, Liberia can still survive. Liberians can still survive. Yes, we need the support.
Do you know? Come here. Let me hold you there. Do you know the effect of the 8th court by USIT? Do you know the effect?
I know the effect.
Then you shouldn't be saying with America can still survive. Do you know the string they have on the budget? No, I'm coming, Dave. What we said, he says we gotta be very careful. Do we know the string it has on the budget? That court, that USIT, the court. Do you know the string it has on the budget? Fine. So why would you say that without America, Liberia can still survive? No.
There are other countries that can help Liberia to survive.
Which other countries?
So we mean
which other countries? You go to Great Britain?
Sabo, this is why.
Let me say something.
This is why America will continue to flex its muscle, because we see it as being indispensable.
No, but there are America's indispensable. You go up, you come down. America's indispensable. We heard about a story where one of our former presidents said, "Oh, that's peanuts," and at the end of the day, what happens? America is indispensable. You can just make any statement against them.
Okay. So
you go to an international conference and you just say anything you can.
So Sabo, the issue of the statement read by Louis Bryan was a joint statement.
No, we're not making reference. Moses is only saying it could be considered. So apparently they consider that statement as well.
Another place I have a little disagreement with Moses.
Yeah.
He said that when the U.S. president called President Bouazizi and the government made news out of it, it wasn't news because world leaders need to be talking to each other. I disagree with that. That was news. What made it a news? What made it a news? Because America is the greatest country in the world, and if its president called any African country, that is news. That makes it news also because at no time did President Trump call George. We are doing it 6 years. And it's called December in 2 years. That makes it news. Another thing that makes it news is, okay, I've already mentioned that I
like your explanation.
Yeah.
You said it made it news because
he didn't say that
he didn't come in because President Trump didn't call we are
President doing the presidency.
Fine.
So President Biden.
President Trump.
Sorry.
So you're missing things out here. Let me hold you. Moses, you can come in, please.
So that's it.
Yeah, look, Osama, thank you so much. You just shot yourself in the leg. You said America is a non-entity.
No. Entity is so hard to work, Moses.
That's what you said.
Let me complete my thoughts. He said there's no need for Liberians to panic because Liberia can survive with support from other nations. The relationship between Liberia and the United States is not special. America is indispensable to Liberia. That's what you said. And you turn around. In less than 10 minutes, you turn around and came. And you said there was a need for Liberians to celebrate because a phone call emanated from the United States, the president of the United States. You said the president of the United States the United States is a very prominent nation. That's so that relationship is special. So you just contradicted yourself. If you said this country is indispensable, why would you celebrate when the president of this country calls your president? I'm saying that it is normal. It is normal. If I call Sober George, my friend and brother, if I call you David Tagbe, you are my friend and brother, there's no need for my children to be celebrating. We are colleagues. We need to talk. But you celebrated that. Now let's come to this. Let's come to the debate about the significant.
You can be speaking under the man.
The significant role of the United States. Let's come to Liberians residing in this country. Do you know how much Liberians remit annually to Liberia? Do you know that? Do you know the level of investment emanating from Liberians based in this country? Do you know that? Why were you people celebrating when all the MCC compact, when Liberia became illegible? Why were you celebrating? Liberia sovereignty is only on paper. Everything about our country is what? Absolute dependence. Foreign country run your nation. Who building your oil here? The Chinese. Your medical institution, before you stop funding, where did the money came from? The United States. On an annual basis, the United States invests more than $160 million for budget support. And you're saying that the relationship is not indispensable? Don't say that, Tagbe. This is a very important relationship.
Okay.
Liberia needs America more than America needs Liberia.
I agree with you, Moses. Good argument.
So you've been defeated, Tagbe. Let's try.
Good players accept defeat.
Okay, I agree. You're a good player, you accept defeat. Gentlemen, let's just take a few calls quickly and then before we can transition because there's a need to do that. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Or better still, 0886 0505 07. Again, 0886 050507. Liberia has been placed on a new U.S. visa suspension list. Liberia is among other countries. What do you think? Let's hear from you. 0778 460 793. Again, 0886 050507. Or this alternative line, 0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987 or 0778 460 793. 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. 0886 050507. We want to hear from you. What do you think? The latest news tonight: Liberia has been placed on a new U.S. visa restriction. In other words, Liberia has been sanctioned. What do you think? Where is it coming from? Yes, we are amongst other countries. That's not Liberia alone. Let's try to get that straight. But why Liberia this time around? Because there was a first list. Liberia was not on that list. Why now that they've put Liberia on the list, especially when our country and the relationship with America has improved greatly, and we've been celebrating that. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Or better still, 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Let's hear from you quickly. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Is this someone here?
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Okay, but man, Louis Brown, I said, enemy to honestly, that speech he made, it was not correct. It was not a bigger position. He knew that we are all only time friends of America. Anyway, I'm Joe Mo, according for Nikuta.
Okay.
We are all friends for America. People who criticize, but it was not a bigger. Louis Brown and say he has enemy in this government. Honestly, you see, he embarrassed us. This is why they are blocking our visa today. The whole country is embarrassed. They have no right. They just accepted us. They just elected us on the Security Council. Then he's making no kind of statement. He want to even consult the president before even going on ahead to give him speech. Honestly, he has embarrassed us.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. You made the point already. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Better still, 0886 050507. 0886 050507. What do you think? Let's hear from you. Liberia has been placed on a new U.S. visa suspension list. Not Liberia alone, though, but with the relationship we have with America. Let's hear from you. What do you think?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Some of good evening.
Yes, sir.
Member of United Party Intellectual School.
Okay.
What is happening? When the hair is rotting, the hair out for the party. I'm saying that to say, I'm not giving people the bell of voting for leader, but Shaw is the worst here. So I don't know why they took that decision, but let me see the America, we gave ourselves to African grade and to America too much. Because the people they just see that they ought to everything. So that will have that is so more crown on him. Then they allow them to draw it in. Then the men win. That man did get down for African people. There was some here when we see the man. What did the man say? The man say, sorry for the expression on the radio. What did the man say? The man say Africa is a shell country. You see that man get down for us? That man can do any other thing. So I'm making people want the Africa now be united. Let OAU, let to reaffirm me. America is not in Africa interest. What is that the other what they get there? So have no feeling for black men. You have to know that everybody knows. Say the men win the presidency of America. They say to what they are doing, telling you. The first day they kill Joffrey. We know how that man will get killed. But the people who want it. So that may have nothing for Africa. This is warning to us.
Okay.
That's why I love Ibrahim to away from Burkina Faso. Let me tell you something. It will be like that. I'm not going to fight. Europe, I'm not going to fire. They declare with the African war. We don't know ourselves.
Okay. All right. You make a point. You make a point already. 0778 460 793. Better show 0886 050507. We want to hear from you. What do you think? They may have put our name on the list. Just recently, our president was attending the U.S. Africa Summit. In fact, our president spoke very well, and Donald Trump recognized that and commended our president. Just recently again, he also placed a call to our president that went viral, and everywhere the street corners were discussing that. Besides, the visas extension. They said, well, we're going to give Liberia, extension. So why this one? What has got them that they put our name on the list? Let's hear from you.
Dave, my name.
Yeah, Dave, let's hear from you.
Thank you. I was given a visa for 1 month to stay in America in 2005 when I went to attend the All Liberia National Conference representing the Governance Commission. But I stayed for 1 week and I came back. And the only reason why I stayed for 1 week was that Amara Kone was the head of Unity Party in 2005. Right after the conference, they invited me to New York for a Unity Party meeting. And on my way back, I came across 2 of my former students from SDA who asked me to stay in Philadelphia with them for 1 or 2 days. Now, I'm saying this to say, I'm supporting one of the callers. I mean, your kind of the thing was Anthony Williams, the honorable, who said we should try to make this place a good place where people from America and other places will be running to. We have the capacity. Sometimes I get so sick. I have traveled to 17 countries, but the longest I ever stay out of the.
Hello?
Wow.
Hello?
I just party in Liberia. Yes. That's the only reason. For all other places, 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. Look, I don't know the main reason behind this thing, but I agree with Moses on one thing where he said, when people are helping you, take time how you talk.
That's it.
Yes, take time how you talk. I'm not sure where the trouble is coming from, but that statement by Louis Brown, my good friend, I think it has something to do with this thing here. I'm not too sure. They may have their policy. Louis Brown, my good friend, I think it played a little role. How can we be so close and just out of a sudden, Donald Trump just placed a call to our president? Where's the trouble coming from? But the main reason why I call, I've been listening from the beginning as usual. If you want to cause my mind, you want me to hear it, say it on Nightline. Yeah, I follow every time. Now, I only call to say thanks to all of the people there. You're making some good point comments, but let's make our country better so that people from other places will come here. It is not all the time. We have to depend on this. We have the capacity. We're still too damn much for ourselves.
Yeah.
Everything America. No, America did not drop from heaven. The people fought hard to make it the way it is. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to take too long, but my only reason why I called is to support one of your panelists who said, I'm not going to be one of those that say America is indispensable. No, but Liberia can attract Americans here too. Once we put our acts together and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And yeah. Gentlemen, thank you. Gentlemen and lady, the woman still there.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Koti. 0778-460-793, or better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the latest decision by the U.S. government? They released the first list. Liberia was not part of that. But just, in a few days or a week, Liberia has been placed on the list, of 75 countries that are going to face visa restriction. What do you think? Where do you think this is coming from? What has angered America to place its little brother, Liberia, on the list, or his son, Liberia, on the list? So let's hear from you quickly. 0886-050507, or better still, 0778-460-793. Again, 460-793 or 086-050507. Again, just recently, our president received a call from the U.S. president, and that went viral, and everywhere people were talking about that. Besides, the first thing America invited Liberia to this African American summit. Let's take this call quickly on the line. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. This is Koyu with COVID, and I joined this conversation from District 3.
Okay.
The member of the United Party Intellectual Bureau. Look, let me appreciate all of you for the analysis. I think the issue of Liberia visa restrictions by America, I knew that Liberia, serious action would have been taken against Liberia upon Liberia condemnation towards America, action towards Venezuela and the people of Venezuela. For me, I knew it that because America is a dictator country, right? They pretend to be a democratic state. In other countries, these are people that will come, they say, participation in politics, but in their country, they refuse them, right, as president. But then when it comes to other countries, we come and talk about freedom of speech, right, in our country. When the orator spoke against America or her disrespectfully, what happened before our president in this country? Somebody expressed opinion against America, but these are people that will come and say, respect freedom of speech, free speech. So, America speaks action. For me, it was clear. I knew this slavery mentality that they always want to believe, right? That everything that the African countries to subscribe to them, and then before with them, they take action against you. But look, it is not surprising. The only thing I would take our country for my government, and the government that has strongly try to cut down some of the benefits to work officials to get that to your citizens and aid, most especially for America. For America is now helping abroad. That's exactly it.
Okay, very sense.
Comparison between America and China, will tell you that abroad should be based on the China because
many sense.
Let me say that abroad has benefited immensely from China to America.
Many sense. And then, David, I mean, can you imagine a country that can just enter another country and grab the president and take it? Look, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat anyway. We're trying to look into the reasons why America thought that our name should be added. Because they came up on this earlier, and Liberia was not, in fact, all through the beginning of our administration, and all our government here, not because they denied some our job now, but all our government here. From the beginning of the administration, everything was okay. In fact, they invited us to the U.S. American Summit. Our president spoke. Washington said, and Joe Biden, but Trump said, you spoke a very nice English, and everything was okay. They started, sending phone calls and calling our president, and it seems all okay. But I don't know where the other angle comes from that they had to put our names. Let's hear from you quickly. What do you think? Where do you see it's coming from? Good evening.
Thank you, Chopper. Let me say thank you for the opportunity. A full advanced Chuma Odabe.
Okay.
And I join you from the floor of Town this season. Chopper, I must say to you this analysis are on point, but here's the issues. I listened to you saying why America put visa restriction on Liberia. I want to say to you, you know that America wants to control the war. And why am I saying so? America went to Venezuela and captured the Venezuelan president. And Liberia being a member on the National Security Council. Lagos don't get in line with African representation, and that statement was read by the Liberian ambassador to America, Luis Garcia Brown.
Hello?
What the American issue here is that while Liberia should agree to even read that statement because Liberia stand with heavy hand on the Security Council seat. So Liberia read that statement on the A3, making the position of Africa against what America did to Venezuela. That's the reason why America, in their own political question, female United States to full clarification on Liberia. But yes, what our president went to America and spoke beautiful English, we know that Mr. President is representing Liberia. The foreign minister, Sarah Meso Young, is also representing on the higher state. But America must know this. We are not stools. We are a sovereign nation, and Liberia can be controlled by the United States of America.
You can claim sovereignty. Okay, thank you very much. You made your point. That's why I take an additional calls. You can claim sovereignty. I mean, a small country like, well, where's sovereignty coming from? When America just called the aid, and you said used to be here, and of course you said how a bulk of the Liberians, working for you said and making good money, but immediately. You said went down, bulk of our people went out of jobs, and the country doesn't have money. The point is, we need to be more, we need to beat on our national government, our national leaders than America, because they're not creating the environment. Bulk of them not creating the environment. And this is a problem that we have of years in, years out. Former President Andrew Johnson Sirleaf, is he gone? Charles Taylor, used to be in, he himself is in the head by now. George, we are the same. We have the current administration. Where is the environment that they are creating that will stop Liberians from going to the US? Where is the environment? So our national, look at the schools. In America, the people taxpayers' money, they use it to improve the educational sector. So when somebody graduated from the US, yes, they got sound education. They use it to build the health sector. So when somebody had some disease, they go to the hospital and they are diagnosed, and they are treated. They use that money, the money that they generate, the revenue they generate, they use it to build their roads. What have our administrations done? What have our administrations done? Administration from in and from beginning to end. We are now currently in the administration of Ambassador Joseph Imabwaka, president now. So what we heard before, there will be no drugs in the street. Where are we now today? Are drugs now still in the street? So we don't need to even beat on America or criticize America. And I differ with people who think that, with America, for America, Liberia can still, no. With America, Liberia will be far better. Far better. Yeah, we are today. You know what strain they say costing on the national budget? Do you know the strain that's costing the national budget? Because of that call from USAID, we need to be praying for our country. We don't stop believing America. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. 0886-050507. Our new leaders come in. The first thing they do is to exclude. They adopt the culture of political exclusion and marginalization. And say, well, you are not part of the political establishment, you can get a job. So at the end of the day, the bulk of the Liberians, that's why the Liberians, they push them out. They don't have jobs. Is that what America do in a country? No. So our leaders have problem. Our national leaders have problem. So let's try to beat on our national leaders and not America. Yes.
Now this is the point. You said the question you asked is a $1 million question.
Mm-hmm.
What is annoying America for including Liberia on the list after telling our president that the president spoke good English?
Very good.
But the reason could be that it is the same good English that Louis Brown used to eloquently presented as.
I think you talk about
the eloquence with which he read the statement.
For me,
it's part of the good English. Now it is the good English now that is annoying the United States.
No. I think we're trying to jump the gun. I think we're trying to gun the jump.
Maybe I just doing it.
I think you started putting the bit of comedy.
The press statement from the United States State Department have not given any reasons for including a country on that list. And as we all see, we're just speculating. All right, whether it is the issue of them listening to what we're saying based on what the speaker
We're
did.
not speculating. We're talking analyze.
No.
It's not speculation.
No.
It's not what you call speculation.
No.
I differ with you on that.
You can analyze. You can still speculate.
No. We're trying to analyze. When somebody says, no, I come here. When somebody says something, sit down, do a reflection, and analyze what the person said. You're not speculating. But you could say, no, I'm coming. I'm coming. You could say, David Tagbe said I'm crazy because apparently 4 years ago I told David Tagbe that he was stupid. So you got to analyze. You're not speculating.
No. And when you're analyzing, you have the background.
You got a background. Thank you. You're not speculating.
So let me live up.
So we are saying, I'm coming. We are saying that from the onset of the administration, I wish the administration did extremely well. Let's give the kudos to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm coming. We can talk together. You are saying we speculated. I mean, we say we are not. So I'm coming. We are saying to you from the onset of the administration, we all been here. We know the relationship that America had with Liberia. Now, when the administration came and with the inclusion of the foreign minister, who before she could even be included, there was people beating on her from the administration, and that's the reason why Liberia will continue to be the day. I'm coming. No, that's not an issue. We are talking about our country, Liberia.
No, but
we are talking about our country, Liberia. And there are some parliamenters who think that, let us go into it deeply.
We can dive into
it. I'm coming, man. We can be talking together. Apparently, Washington may have taken a decision on Monrovia because of maybe the statement we made recently against Washington concerning its involvement with Venezuela, or it could be the issue with the speaker. That's what is wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. Go deep.
No. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is hypothetical. That's not.
America may not tell you that. Look, I'm giving I'm coming. The point their reason under policy shift. That's what I'm saying.
Until we can have that foreign service release coming out that based on the policy.
Let me take the course until 9:45. We will develop. What we do right now? Let me take my course. No, that's not good. Let me take my course. 0778 460793.
You want to start as a man?
07. Can I just say something quickly?
460793. Again, 0778 460793. Or better still, 0886050507. Again, 0886050507. Let's hear from you, Moses.
What I want to say quickly here is this. The Americans use the word reassess. And when you reassess, you are looking at what is working, what is not working. Whatever intervention that you put in place, is this intervention working? Are your policies working? Where do you need to tweak? If you're making progress, you want to know the progress you're making. If you are not making progress, what are the challenges? So in summary, I am saying that Liberia was never on the list. If Liberia became a part of the list now, as part of the reassessment, this is where the Liberian government itself needs to go back and ask itself, where did we go wrong? What is happening with our relationship with the United States? What are some of those things that we have done over the years? Our citizens in America, what are they doing that undermine the rule of law in our country? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. That's part of the reassessment. And the people told you this is indefinite. So it means that your future is in the limbo.
It's in the limbo. Your future is blinked. You're talking something you want to talk.
No.
Your future is blinked.
No, that's not true.
It's indefinite. The people told you, look, our reassessment doesn't have an end date, doesn't have end date.
Slower.
We'll continue to reassess until 2029.
Slower. That's not what they released.
It's possible.
No.
It's possible.
That's why I keep saying.
No.
That's why I keep saying.
But you have listen.
You are using hypothetical analysis.
No, we're not being hypothetical.
No, we
the
are.
point is, we are telling you that we're trying to analyze what Washington have done.
You can do
initially.
that.
So I'm coming. Initially, and the reason why this is very important. The reason why this is very important. I said to you that from the onset of the administration, our relationship with America had improved.
We all agree that.
No, you don't agree.
We agree
had
to
improved.
That. We agree to
No, you don't agree. I'm coming now. We can be talking together. We all know that it has improved. We saw here when other African leaders were not invited to the summit, to the U.S. African summit. Other African leaders were not invited, but Liberia was invited. And to be told, and the good thing for us, when they invited us, our president spoke amongst all those leaders. Who did Trump recognize? He recognized our president as speaking good English. And apart from that, he placed a call to our president just in recent time. In addition to that, he gave us visas extension. So our relationship has been on our eyes, and I can't you're not been no. But let me speak now. But you can be interjecting now. Our relationship has been very cool until just today we heard about this restriction. So what has put us on restriction? What has anchored America? Is it the statement we made as part of the UN body? Or is it the issue happening on Capitol Hill? We've got to be looking at that. So what is wrong if you're assessing that? What is wrong if you're trying to gauge that? What is wrong?
Slower.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but slower. Allowed to no. Give me a chance now.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've analyzed everything. I just said to you, almost every country on the African continent was put on our list.
But you still no. That's when I differ with you.
You speak. I'm
talking about our country. Allow me to speak. No, we can't allow you to speak. No. When your foundation, your foundation is faulty.
Irrespective of your country's interest.
About our country.
We all talking about our country. I'm saying to you,
comrade. Let's go for the list. We are talking about. We're not talking about Nigeria.
But we can't allow me to live my premises.
There's nothing wrong with
allow me to live my premises.
Linking to the other countries.
He's saying that the decision was not taken against Liberia alone.
No,
so I'm saying to you, no.
You don't analyze this.
Our concern is
concerned about your country.
Fine.
Let Nigerians talk about Nigeria.
Let Nigerians talk about Nigeria.
Let Ghanaians talk about Ghanaians.
So
no, because you guys are trying to put a thing into this whole international cycle or politics and
I'm
saying to you, it's a decision that the United States government have come up with to say we're going to review this process. Allow the foreign policy people to deal with this issue rather than trying to speculate and say, because we spoke yesterday against the U.S. Look, the statement I was read by Louis Brown, it was a statement by countries that have been placed on the.
I want you to know. I can't remember.
Argument. What must have prompted that decision? What we are discussing.
That's what we're discussing. We're not talking about Louis Brown. No. You trying to misinterpret.
Every country
is trying to misinterpret.
So why should I not be?
No, Edwin, we didn't make a definitive statement to say, well, maybe that the statement made by Louis. No. We said.
That's why I said we're speculating.
We said no. We analyzing. We are analyzing. We're not speculating. It's not speculation. We are analyzing. We are analyzing this. Moses, want to come in quickly so we can transition.
Yeah, I just want to say this for my brother family, and let me localize it for you, Mr. Family. Let's assume that we all here work for the same company, and there was a time that the manager came to you and said, "Look, Family, you are one of the funniest person in this company, and you are doing an outstanding job. But I have people here who are underperforming." After 3 months, the HR manager come to you and say, "Mr. Family, we have decided to take a critical review or assess the productivity of all employees, and your name has been added to that list." Where will your concern be? Won't you ask yourself,
no,
why has my name been added to this?
No, there's
What
nothing wrong
have I
with it.
done? Well, listen.
Listen,
In every relationship, it is often stated that the first law of nature is nation, right? You come first. You're asking yourself, but the people say I was the best. Now, why is my name on the list? You will do that self-assessment. You will do your own assessment. What did I do wrong? What am I not doing? You're not going to worry about other employees. No. You will focus on yourself.
It'll be hypothetical
That's
assessment.
what I'm saying.
That's not a fact.
Man, family, one thing I see with you always peddling slanted opinion.
No,
that's
come on, you. No,
yeah, you always peddling that. We're trying to talk about Liberia. We're trying to talk about what has anchored or what has put us under this policy shift by America. Why? We were not there before.
No, because
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. We're trying to deeply analyze this. What had gone wrong? For which today our names are there. With a flower relationship we have with America.
Ask you, name me one country in the entire African continent.
Okay, we have to transition. Gentlemen, we have to transition. We have to transition.
75 countries, you have 50 countries in Africa.
Please, we have to transition. We have to transition.
There's nothing personal.
Gentlemen, just yesterday, or day before yesterday, we saw that the government. Man, please don't distract the man. Please. No, you distract the man. You always come up with slanted opinion here on the program. You never been straight here. Yeah, and you say you're a law student. So we're going to question your law degree.
No.
So, gentlemen, I resent that. I resent it.
That's
So,
my analysis. You can
so the thing is, just recently, the government through the Liberia National Police, Tabwe, they arraigned, how you call him, Stand Molu, before court, and the placed a couple of charges on him in connection with the violent, they call it violent protest that happened. But Molba managed to file a valid criminal bond and was released. And after he came out, he had a press conference. Let's try to listen to Molba, and we can speak about that quickly.
So welcome. This is DN News. We see the chairman of STAN. Chairman Molu, welcome to DN News. We see here earlier on you posted that you were charged. Tell us what been going on with you in the court there.
So there will be a press conference that we are calling for Wednesday. This coming Wednesday to address a series of national issues, including the baseless and unfounded, flimsy charges leveled against us by the Liberian National Police. And of course, we are not deterred by their attempts to silence free speech and detail freedom of assembly. We remain committed to what we have initiated, and nothing is going to stop it. So it's unfortunate that the Liberian National Police has been weaponized against activists to the detriment of our democratic process. And so all I can say right now is nothing they will do will be enough to stop us from the path that we have chosen. So we are committed, we are determined, and on Wednesday we will clearly lay out moving forward the next series of action steps that will be by far bigger, by far significant compared to previous actions that we've taken.
What are your charges?
Charges that were levied are simply flimsy charges that were determined to slow us down, but we cannot be slow because revolutionaries get hardened when state actors throw in bottlenecks to deter their forward march. So charges like failure to disperse, disorderly conduct, etc., are flimsy and cannot be authenticated in view of actions taken on December 17th. So we don't want to even dignify them with a response. We are ever ready, we are prepared, and the Liberian people will hear from us on this coming Wednesday.
Why your lawyers are telling you about this?
These are, I mean, a valid bond was...
All right, gentlemen. You listen to Molba Molu. He and addressing the press there after his lawyer filed a valid criminal bond, and he was temporarily released, because normally when a lawyer files a bond, I'm sure the lawyer in Trinity can he can confirm that he can you are not released entirely. You have to go out to court. But this is what happened. He was charged in connection with the protest that occurred, and STAND being an advocacy group, a pressure group, in another word. Dave, let me hear from you. Do you think the decision taken by the Liberian National Police, by the government through the Liberian National Police, to charge or to take to court, charge and take to court Molba Molu, given the fact that he's an advocate, do you think that decision was necessary, and will not be viewed as trying to stifle or trying to suppress, opposition voices? Let's hear from you.
Well, first of all, look, being an advocate doesn't put you above the law. And with regarding STAND, before, if it were an attempt by the government, in my view, to have silenced critical voices like STAND, my best bet is the government would not have given STAND the go-ahead or the license or the go-ahead
to carry out the protest.
The fact that the government, doesn't want to silence critical voices, so go ahead and protest. But these are the guidelines, and my best bet is STAND and the government or the police reach an agreement that this is how the protest must go, or this is how the protest will go, and STAND accepted that. So if STAND went to a protest and said, don't cross the red line, your protesters shouldn't cross the red line, and your protesters forcibly cross the red line, and as a result of crossing the red line, and the entire protest exploded into violence, and during that violence, properties and lives were threatened or destroyed, quite frankly, I see no reason why anyone would think that it's an attempt by the government to silence STAND, because the fact of the taking, placing a charge on STAND, and even grabbing Molba Molu and allowing him to go home after filing a bond, that's a due process. He's accorded due process. The police invited him, maybe must have detained him for several hours, a few hours, if the lawyers filed in a bond, and he was let go. So if the government were, in my view, I may be wrong, in my view, if the government had an intention to silence critical voice like STAND, it wouldn't have given, or the Justice Ministry or the police would not have given STAND the license or the go-ahead to go ahead with the protest. So if you went to the protest and abrogate the agreement you reached with the government, quite frankly, and things went wrong, you are going to be held liable. Nothing at here is on a basis that the government is holding Molba Molu liable for what must have happened.
Okay, let's hear from you, Edwin.
I think our laws are clear on, what constitutes a crime.
I don't like the way the law can start. Our laws are clear.
That's
of course.
Lawyer,
So basically,
the
level of engagement that the police had with Molba Molu, I think that's a proper procedure.
Okay.
The police do not have the authority to judge him whether he's guilty or not. They've done their part. They submitted him to the judicial process. He will go there. You have due process. His lawyer will represent him. The charges that were brought against him will have to be proven by the state. If he's found culpable, he will have to face in whatever penalty the law laid down. If he's free, they will let him to. They will allow him to walk away. That's how our process works. So I think it also serves as a deterrent. Like I've said here consistently, yes, our constitution calls for freedom of assembly. It says that you can gather to protect, to present your petition to elected representative. But in that process of gathering, you have to be civil. Because if you don't do it, you could infringe on other people's rights. You could break the law. And then when you break the law, definitely, irrespective of your status or what role you play in party politics, the law will have to take its course. So I think this is the process that has been followed. And I think Moluba Molu should just follow that process, go to the court, exonerate himself, because the onus is on the state to produce this evidence. He that goes to court, the judicial process put that burden on you to prove your case before the court.
Now, Moses, let me ask you. I don't know from this angle.
Do we still have the lawmakers on the show?
No, because we're not discussing the issues anymore. So the one off. Moses, you've been following. I know you're in the diaspora, but you've been following. Moluba Molu so far, of the stand, has been the only pressure group that have been holding or conducting or carrying out protests since the onset of this administration. They held the last one, I think December 17 or something, and there was some confusion. There was some incidents that occurred. Just yesterday or day before, he was arraigned before court by the Liberian National Police, charged, but later on he came out. Do you think it will be seen by people or by watchers, by pundits, political pundits, as a real attempt on the government to ensure that the rule of law takes place? Or do you think it will be seen that government is just trying to silence the critical voices like Moluba Molu?
Yeah. Before I answer your question, Sober, let me ask you guys, do you know of the charges levied against Stand? The charges from the police? What are the allegations levied?
Conduct, yeah.
It's other conduct, and
I think vandalizing private property belongs to to individuals or so forth. And those charges were gathered from the investigation that was done during the day of the protest or so. Yeah. Is there anything outside of that?
Okay. But look, honestly speaking, this would be my definitive statement on this. I see the action by government as a publicity stunt. There's going to be nothing coming out of this. No, I'm saying the government. Let me reiterate again. The decision to charge Moluba Molu and Stand is a publicity stunt. Nothing will come from out of this case. It's intended to intimidate Mr. Molu. The people who are talking about prosecuting Moluba Molu today, let's go back. Less than 3 years ago, where were they? Were they not in the street protesting? Were they not part of June service led by Henry Costa? Was Darius General not part of the process? Was Mo Ali not part of the process? Did they not engage in things that were considered in Liberia absolutely wrong? Did the we administration prosecute any of them? I'm not saying that two wrongs equal to one right. No. I'm simply saying this is a mere publicity stunt. It's a tactic to intimidate Stan and Mr. Molu. Absolutely.
So Moses, are you suggesting, let me ask you a question, somebody, I beg you. Are you suggesting that because the real government did not fight corruption yesterday, so the government shouldn't fight corruption, because the Weah government did not take protesters during its administration, did not take action against them, even if they violated the laws. So this government shouldn't take protesters to court, even if they have violated the law. Is that what you're implying, sir?
That is not what I'm insinuating, sir. And you heard me say earlier that, hey, there is not a moral equivalent. For the fact that we didn't do it, it doesn't mean that these people cannot do it. But what I'm saying definitively is there is a mere publicity stunt. The prosecution will make no progress. They're going to go to court after a number of court appearances. This matter will be stalled.
Are you talking from experience? Are you talking from experience previous?
Because I'm not Liberian.
Would you like to make your reference?
I'm speaking from experience. I know Liberia. I know how we do things in Liberia. We saw what happened when Mr. Taylor was president. We saw what happened in Liberia when Mr. Doe was president. We saw what happened in Liberia when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was president. We saw what happened in Liberia when George Weah was president. All this political ploy to silence Mobah Molu, because Mobah Molu is coming out as a critical voice. And this is what people in the government don't want.
Okay.
Moses
Well, my point to that is that at least now that they're trying to follow the due process. Honor Mr. Taylor, you were grabbed and put behind bars. All right. This day, they're saying, okay, we're going to investigate this whole incident and then follow you to the court. If you go to the court and you exonerate yourself, you are a free man. Now, the thing is that whenever we try to test the law, and that's why I've seen in Liberia many times that we don't want to test our judicial system. We say, oh, you know what, it's a normal thing. And as soon as you start, no. But I think that's the way to go, because the police have come up and said, look, you've done X, Y, Z or so. They will go to the court. It's a different branch of government. The police will have to present, the state will have to present their case against Mobah Molu. And if the court sees that case has no gravity in it to hold Mr. Mobah Molu liable, in fact, like you're now saying, the public sitting now turn over now in favor of Molu. So to me, I think we shouldn't say because it was not done yesterday, so we need to start from somewhere. And like I keep saying, these laws are on the books. Public nuisance. How many times do we use these laws? In fact, where you live, there could be a guy that could come and open a nightclub right by your house and playing loud music at night. There's a law on the book that you can sue that guy for public nuisance. But how many of us do it here? We don't do it. Because you know what? I don't want to go to court. But once we start to test the law, let the court tell us, say, look, you are wrong or you are right. So I think this is the way to follow.
And you don't think that it's just a mere publicity?
No, I don't think so. Now, there are processes. Our judicial processes are very slow. Take, for example, the Asom case. You know, we still pretty around a year because our court process is just too bucket, there's too much of bureaucracy over layers. The 2 case, we still on it yet. We could be on it for the next 6 years or so. But I think it's good that we start to challenge these things before the law, and then the due process be granted. If he goes there and free, he's a free man. He walk away. Yeah.
And Formula, it is good that you said that our legal process in the country is very slow. Very slow. Like you said, this case we're talking about, it could last for the next 4 years.
Of course.
It could even last for more than that, right? That's the kind of country. And so, like I said, the intent here is to intimidate Mr. Molu, intimidate his follower, that hey, we are being monitored. We are being tracked. We need to recalibrate. We need to readjust. That's what the government wants. They say, oh, man, you're getting people to cook. But they themselves they know that the process is going to be delayed. That's why I call it a publicity stunt.
So look,
People are talking
the
about it.
other thing is that look, I
No,
don't
you
know.
have to be.
I don't know what
I
it.
have to usher you in.
Okay, Sabo, please usher me in.
Go ahead.
You know, I don't know whether the issue of cases taking too long in course is unique to Liberia, even the great United States. Cases are
No, the thing is, let me come in this. No, let me come in. Let me come in. Let me come in.
No, I will tell him why.
I don't know why you guys are always deep, comparing our situation with that of other countries. No.
Let me learn. Sabo. You know, and besides that, the law, thank God we have a law student here. I've heard from lawyers that the law is on camel's back. It's not on the horse's back, because the horse is faster and the camel is slow. He's a law student. I've heard from people who are senior, to him, lawyers, who have said that, look, the reason why the law is slow is that the law is on camel's back. I think it's being metaphorical. That the law is on camel's back. It's not on horse's back. So the law, the fact that the camel is slow, the law is as slow as the camel, metaphorically speaking. So
likewise, I've spoken with lawyers who said that all that's needed to be done is to just rewrite or reform the laws. That's the only way.
That's one aspect of it. That's one aspect, and I think I've said it over and again that most of the laws on our book are
obsolete.
They are 1972, the civil procedure law, the criminal procedure. That put out of bottlenecks. Now, he tried to mention the United States. It's a different ball game. Now, in the US, they have different code layers. They have the appellate code. They have the district code. In Liberia, we have only two set of courts, the magisterial court, and then we come to the circuit courts. And then from there now, any matters from the circuit courts goes to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Now, unlike other countries, most matters does not go to the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court is very busy. Like in the United States, you don't just carry any case to the Supreme Court. It has to be of constitutional nature, all right, before it goes there or so. Because the appellate courts have the jurisdiction to be able to pass on some of the cases and run judgment. Unlike us here, you come from the magisterial court, you go to the circuit court. The circuit court dockets are full. And like you rightly said, because it has to do with people's survivability, people's life. So judges are not sitting in the court to just come, go choose a lawyer, go. No. Because you want for justice to be fairly dispensed. So the court have to sit to thoroughly look at the facts being presented by both parties, and that's why they say even trial by jurors. So the jurors will sit there to listen to the both parties, and then the judge will charge them, say, go out there, this is the law I think you should apply. They will take their own time to try to go through all of the different files, all of the evidence that were presented before they can come back and say, okay, this man is guilty or not. After that, the law says the person can take an appeal. They take an appeal, they have to perfect that appeal, it goes before the Supreme Court. Now, if your matters go before the Supreme Court, and there are about 100 cases laying on the Supreme Court docket, your case is coming to 101. So there is no magic there to say that they will jump over those cases and come to So these are some of the delay process. But like you said, if we can reform our laws and say that we can create appellate courts, let's say for regions, all right? Let's say the southeastern region will put one appellate court there, so that any appeal from all of the civil law, the circuit courts at that level goes there, rather than going to the Supreme Court. So we have maybe justices are just there, maybe 5 of them in the southeast that hear all matters that come from there, except where it has to do with constitutional nature. Then we say, okay, we send it to the Supreme Court. We have these difficulties in our judicial process.
Sure. All right, gentlemen, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. I think we've come to the end of the program. We can go into the other discussions. We'll make sure to the name of the discussion. We're trying to gather some panelists to come and discuss. We've already gotten the the consent of Benedict Kolba. I think he's former assistant minister in the former president's administration, former president Weah's administration. We're trying to get Vandala Patrick also, and maybe hopefully, if he agrees, kind of about that, to have a discussion on Friday on that name mode, stuff. So let me ask for our parting comments, and then we all can. But before our parting comment, let me just ask for our parting comment if I can play this tape here quickly. Dave, your parting comment.
My parting comment would be my opening comments that the Ministry of Public Works should not only pave roads only for cars to pass on. The Ministry of Public Works should also repair the sidewalks, not only the roads that the cars are plying. Besides that, the Monrovia City Corporation has to get to work in terms of regulating the movement of people on the sidewalk. Where should people sell and shouldn't sell? People sell too much on the sidewalk until pedestrians don't know where to park, whether they're on the car road or on the sidewalk. Because the sidewalks, many of them are cracked and many of them are occupied by people selling. So it causes too much of inconvenience in terms of movement in the city. That's my parting comment, sir.
All right, Eddie?
Yes, so Slower, I think I just placed in the chat room.
That name is Sobo, not Slobo.
Sobo?
Sobo, S-O-R-B-O-R.
From Grand Crew.
Not Slobo.
Anyway, let me say congratulations to you guys. Grand Crew
and you said so what that you are mispronouncing it.
Grand Crew County is in the final. They defeated Grand Cape Mount County. Yes, we were not knowing for football. Yeah, but anyway, we did our best. You Crew boys are good football players.
Thank God you are admitted today.
But however, I just placed in our chat room the statement from the U.S. State Department. Okay. I think we misconstrue a lot of things here, and we try to create this hyper stuff. Yeah. After reading the statement, it's clearly understood that those who wish to migrate to live in the United States, it's an immigrant visa. Now, the restriction does not apply to non-immigrant visa, tourist visa, and so forth. It's clearly spelled out. Yeah. And they gave the reasons why. They explained it. So I don't think the Liberian Post should panic, because most people that leave from here to go to the United States, it's just to go visit their family and come back. The restrictions apply to immigrant visa, those who want to move and live there. And they even gave the condition, looking at age, looking at education, looking at the health of the person who wants to immigrate, because they feel that when these people go, they become a liability on the United States government. So let us not make our people to panic to say we honor visa restriction. Our people cannot apply for visa. The statement is clear, and I think we all should be able to read it and understand it. And I see it even flying on Facebook. People trying now to hype it that no, they did X, Y, Z or so. So that would be my my parting comment. I think we need to just leave this with our foreign service people, because I don't see. Most time Liberians that want to migrate to the United States in certain category will be people that play DV, they want DV, or maybe your family is filing for you. So the people are saying that based on just by assessing you. Because take for example, if you take your grandmother, if you take my grandmother from Grand Cape Mount County, who is 65 or 70 years old, and taking them to the US, at the end of the day, let's be realistic. They're going to be a liability on the people's society, because the person doesn't have the strength to work. There will be medical issues that I may not be able to pay. The American government will have to pay. So these are the things that the people are looking at. Thank you very much.
Let's hear from you. Moses, your partner, comment quickly.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thanks to all of you. It was a great show. I think the engagement was great. But jokingly, let me say this. I heard you say that Mr. Vandala Patrick will be coming as a panelist. I don't know what day. But,
I just saw the show on Friday. He just coming. He's coming as guest.
Yeah, he's going to come as a guest. I just want, I am not being apprehensive, but I'm just jokingly saying that I hope Mr. Patrick is not going to come and refer to somebody here as a convict. So Vandella Patrick is the only man who mustered the courage to call a spade a spade. He looked at Mr. Stanton Witherspoon, the convicted felon in the United States, who masquerade as a Jesus. Vandella is the only guy who mustered that courage on the platform to tell you, say, hey, my man, you are a convict. And I applaud you for that. Thank you. It was a great show. Yeah.
Many thanks, many thanks. So, gentlemen, there's this, listeners and viewers, there's this crusade coming up, I'm sure, on Monday, quickly, organized by the Triumphant Evangelical Ministry in Chicken Soup Factory, where we attend. And of course, it's a 6 days conference, not a revival, rather. You know, in this period of time, we need to get ourselves closer and more closer. We always need to seek that divine coverage, because, you know, the days are so evil. The devil is still manipulating all of us. So it's good that you go to the revival, you know, especially with the beginning of this year. Make sure to go and get your soul revived. And let's try to play this plug. Let's throw the plug, and then we go.
I want you to cry in the name of Jesus. God will disgrace them.
Death into the realms of the supernatural to become unstoppable.
I am in your family now. I saw something like funny. Wait. I saw funny. I saw somebody like in Kelly. I saw in Sunday.
Ministering Minister J. St. Pratt, Ambassador Miracle Keto, Minister Kenneth Greatness Barlett, host Evangelist Dr. J. Ben Greatness.
I want you to bring your friends, bring your family, bring your loved ones. Are you in Sierra Leone? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Ghana? Togo? Are you in Chicken Soup Factory? Are you in Bangladesh, Malaga, Singapore, whatever place you find yourself? I want you to be in this meeting, because God is going to be demonstrating his extraordinary power.
19th through 23rd January 2025 by 5 p.m. daily. The venues are Stephen Tobet Estate Field, Japanese Freeway, Gardensville, Monrovia. For inquiries, please call the following numbers.
Tell them that God's servant, Evangelist Dr. J. Ben Greatness, is in town and God has empowered him.
Okay, so that's it. I hope that you can make your way there on Monday. It begins Monday for 6 days. You know, go to revive your soul. The time is so evil. You know, especially sometimes you got a friend that you know walking with, or a friend that you eating with. You don't know their heart. You know, the Bible says the heart of the man is deceitful and wicked and desperate. Who can know it? But until then, Sabo George is my name. Thanks to all the panelists. We're hoping we'll be back on Friday, God willing. Until then, have a pleasant.